2 Corinthians 10, 3 through 4. For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. And the word used here for strongholds is something in your life that is holding you back from moving forward in your relationship with God. And so this stronghold often doesn't start as a brazen lie that I embraced. Many times it's something that I've heard since I was a child. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not fast enough. You're not this or you're not that, or you are a no good liar. You're just an addict. You're just a thief. You're just X. And the first time you hear it, sounds out of place. But time and time and time again, over and over, the things that we reject are like water to a stone. Eventually, they wear us down, and that lie becomes embedded in our lives, becomes a stronghold that we many times don't even know about. But even if we do, it's so incredibly difficult to break. One of the best examples I can think of this are abusive relationships. And I want to be very sensitive with this subject. Please hear me clearly. Oftentimes, in abusive relationships, the first time the abuse happens, it's shocking. But over time, over weeks, months, years, decades, and I've heard it time and time again from people who are being abused. Well, if I hadn't have made them mad, they wouldn't have had to do that. If I'd have just been quiet, they wouldn't have done this. You see, the stronghold that can take place is that the abuse is their fault. Maybe that they even deserve it. Satan's great strategy is to fight with lies. He does it through abuse. He does it through self-esteem. He does it through addiction to food, alcohol, drugs, pornography. He does it through gossip. I just need to tell them this. They're not going to tell anybody. They wouldn't care. I'd say that to their face. You guys ever thought that? You'd say that to their face? No, you wouldn't, because you'd get punched. Little lies that become strongholds in our lives. And if we do nothing about them, they will take captive portions of our lives and stop us from moving forward in our relationship with God and the battle in our mind. And the great thing about this is that we have a weapon that's not born of this world, that's not like the other world's weapons, but of divine power. You see, where Satan says you are worthless, where you are not good enough, where you never will be, or you're too ugly, or you're too slow, or you'll never get that job, or you'll never have that relationship, or you'll never be happy, or you can't get over this, or you'll never leave that behind, we have to recognize that all he speaks are lies. Look at this, John 8:4. Satan is a murderer. From the beginning, it's not something new. From the beginning, he is a murderer, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. And when he lies, he speaks his native tongue. You guys have probably met somebody like that, where they just can't help but lie. And what he's giving here is the idea that Satan, in his very core, in his very nature, cannot help but try to speak lies into your life, for he is a liar and the father of lies. But we have a counter. Ephesians 1:19 says, but God makes available his great and incomparably great power for us who believe. The power is the same mighty strength that he exerted when he raised Christ from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly realms. And that power is truth. Hebrews 4:12. For the word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword, and it penetrates even to the dividing soul and spirit, joint and marrow. It judges the thoughts and the attitudes of the heart. The only way to fight lies is with the truth. You see, if the lie says you will never be good enough, that you have no value and no identity, the truth is, in John 3:16, that for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. If the lie is that you can never do that you can never overcome, you can never succeed, you can never leave that behind, the truth is that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. You see, any lie that we believe can be paired with a truth that God speaks into our lives. And if you want to kill those lives, you excise them with truth over and over and over again. Because as many times as you've heard that lie, you need to speak God's truth over it. And it won't be a miracle fix. It won't be something that happens instantaneously. It's not like one day Marshall wakes up and thinks, wow, I read my Bible one time and I no longer have to deal with lies. It's day after day. Study after study, prayer after prayer, worship song after worship song, decision after decision. And every one of those is a small brick that you are building in a bridge to supersede that lie or stronghold in your life. It doesn't happen all at once, but it is a powerful and consistent process. Because our lives are always moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. Our lives are always moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. Proverbs 23:7 in the New King James Version says this, for as he thinks in his heart, so he is. Have you guys ever bought a new car? Maybe it's used, but it's new to you. And all of a sudden, you find out exactly how many of those cars are on the road, right? You never liked white cars, but you bought your first white car, and it looks sharp, and all of a sudden, you realize that every other car is white, right? Or maybe you buy a Kia or a Ford for the first time, and you realize, man, everybody has this exact same make or model. You see, you find what you're looking for in life.